Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money, with your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 520 of Screw the Commute podcast. Today I'm going to talk about marketing tools that I happen to use. And I'm going to, now these are desktop tools, by the way. I'm going to do a future episode on the cell phone apps that I use, but these are the stuff that I use on desktop, because if you're really working hard marketing and doing all kinds of stuff, a full-size keyboard or a laptop is going to make you go way faster. I mean, the cell phones are great and I'm absolutely all over it, but to really, really go fast and create enormous amounts of stuff, then desktop is good for you. Now, when I started looking through all the stuff that I've used over the years, oh my God, in my password manager, there's probably, I didn't count them up, there's probably over 1,000 things that I've either tried or used or whatever over the years. So I don't want you newbies to get intimidated about this. Remember, I've been doing this, well, next month will be 28 years straight full-time online. All right, so don't think that you have to have all this stuff right away. Now, I'm going to go quickly with this stuff, and with our podcast player, or if you get our app, you can like rewind like 10 seconds real easily if you miss something. But definitely get the show notes, and you can follow up, because I'm going to go very quickly on what the thing is and what I use it for. And then I'm going to move on, because I just got a ton of them here. Some of them I broke down into different categories, like audio stuff, video stuff, but some of them are just miscellaneous things that really, really help you. All right, I hope you didn't miss episode 519. That was Ask Me a Shopping Cart Question. And by the way, episode 10 is completely about shopping carts. Episode 519 will give you a little taste of the things that go on when you're dealing with a shopping cart system. And then I'm going to mention it again, episodes 511, 14, and 17. 511, 514, and 517 were my Pinterest things based on the webinar that John Kramer and Daniel Hall did. And I broke it down into beginner, intermediate, and advanced. But it is just, you got to listen to the webinar too. We'll have that in the show notes. You can listen to the replay, and you can put questions in, and they come right to me, and I'll answer them for you. So that's the way it is on all our webinar replays. Is you can put a question in the bottom, but keep your email open. That's what happens sometimes. People think I'm ignoring them, or they get caught up in the webinar and think it's live, and then they're getting mad because nobody's answering them. Well, they got to do by email. Okay, pick up a copy of our automation ebook. I'll be talking about some of the automation things we use during the program today, but get the darn ebook. It goes into depth on all these things, and it just makes you work faster, lets you steal customers ethically from people because you get back so fast to them, stuff like that. So pick up a copy of that at screwthecommute.com/automate free, screwthecommute.com/automate free. And while you're at it, pick up a copy of our podcast app at screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP, because you can put us on your cell phone and tablet and take us with you on the road. Okay, I'd love to have your help on this pilot program we're doing for persons with disabilities in my school. It's really going great. We're helping these people get trained in internet marketing and digital marketing so that they can get hired or start their own business, or both. So we have a GoFundMe campaign and some very cool videos. You can see these people. 2 of them are blind, and they're going through an internet marketing course, and it's very inspiring. So check it out at imtcva.org. That's my school website, imtcva.org, Internet Marketing Training Center, Virginia.org. Of course, it's distance learning, so you can be anywhere. And then /disabilities. And then that will take you to the GoFundMe campaign, and then you can see their videos, and anything you can chip in, it'll help out a lot. And Hey, if you're really flush with cash, you could sponsor a person yourself. Wow, could you be proud of that? Helping somebody get to school and employed and in their own business. Okay, let's get to the main event. These are a bunch of marketing tools. I'm going to go very quick. Sometimes I break it down into different categories here. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is audio stuff. I was going to do the whole thing alphabetically, but I just got there's so darn many programs. I just said, heck with it. I'm just going to give them to you, and then you can get the transcript and re-listen to this if you need it. So audio stuff. Okay, I use Adobe Audition for my main recording and editing software. I do use Audacity because I have to train people on it because Audacity is free. So I use that a little bit, but I use Adobe Audition mostly. Also, there's a thing called Waves. That's a company that creates plugins for the audio programs that'll make it do certain stuff that it wouldn't normally do. For instance, there's a debreather, it's called. So if you're using a condenser microphone, it's very sensitive. It might pick up every breath in between you're talking, and then you have to go edit them manually. Well, this plugin will take them out. Stuff like that. Then SpeakPipe. This is a thing. It used to be free. Now I think it's free trial and then a paid service, but this is something that's on my website. So you can leave me a voicemail right through my website, and I get an email and I can listen to your audio, and then I can respond the same way, send you back an audio, and you get an email to say it's ready. Very cool. Use it all the time. All right, here's some video stuff. We use Camtasia as my screen capture video. I've made a fortune on this. I've been using this almost now 22 years, and I use it for all kinds of stuff where, you can have a bad hair day because they're only seeing the screen and hearing you narrate what they're seeing on the screen. Made a fortune with this over the years. Handbrake is I think it's a free program that just helps you convert video formats. Reflector 3, that's the thing. If you've ever seen somebody doing a tutorial to show you what to do on your cell phone, and you see the cell phone on the video, well, their cell phone is being projected into this through this thing called Reflector 3, and that's how you can see their cell phone and what they're clicking on and all that stuff. So that's Reflector 3. Pretty cheap. Now, I happen to use Adobe Premiere for my editing software, although our video guy uses, the heck is it called? I forget what the name of it is. But anyway, it's the higher end one for a Mac. But Adobe Premiere work Mac or PC. And I happen to get it through the Adobe Creative Cloud, which I get other also programs like Photoshop, which I don't use. The video guy uses it. And Adobe Audition, and it has Adobe Acrobat to make PDF files. I get that all through the Adobe Creative Cloud, but Adobe Premiere is the one I use. Darn, I wish I could take the darn one it's the high-end one. I forget, for the video. I don't use it. That's why I can't think of it. I buy it, but he uses it all the time. There's another thing called Animoto. I don't use this too much anymore, but this is something that you can upload some text and upload some pictures and pick some music that's copyright free, and it'll create a gorgeous video for you, promotional video. And then you don't like it, you hit the button again, it'll redo it in some other fashion, and you keep doing it till you find one you like. So that's Animoto. I use the VLC media player. This is a free media player that if your normal media players won't play something, VLC will probably play it, right? And it'll do all kinds of other stuff. I think it's free. Envato, Envato, is one of the places we get stock footage. So I needed an aerial shot of the Eiffel Tower or something. That's where I would go to find it. I don't know why I would need such a thing, but so that's just one of the places for stock footage. Now, we use Easy Video Suite. This is a video player that'll do all kinds of cool stuff. Like, for instance, it would display a buy button on your video at a certain time, just a bunch of stuff like that. So Easy Video Suite. Then Tube Sift. This is a program that allows me to find easily up to 300 at a time videos on YouTube that I want to advertise on. I've had other episodes telling you how YouTube in-stream ads are one of the best bargains ever for advertising. But if you had to find the videos that you wanted your video to be advertised on by hand, it would take you a month, where this will do it in a few minutes, so that's TubeSift. Okay, some word processing stuff. All right, I happen to use Microsoft Word, but I want to tell you about another thing that I use all the time and why I use it, and that's called Notepad. This is on a PC. There's similar stuff on a Mac. So why do I use Notepad all the time? Well, see, back when I first started word processing, I was using a thing called WordPerfect, and it had a button that you could click on, and it would display all the hidden codes that were helping you format your text. But when Microsoft Word kind of took over, they have a button that will display some of the codes, but not all of the codes. So when you have a piece of Microsoft Word text, it's got all kinds of hidden stuff going on in the background. And then when you paste it into somewhere else, all those hidden codes come with it. And it can just drive you crazy. When I critique people's ebooks all the time, I'm saying, how come your line spacing on this part of the book is different than this other? Oh, well, I pasted that in. Yeah, that's trouble because your book is all over the place. So what Notepad does is if you take a piece of text from any word processor and paste it into Notepad, it strips out all this hidden crap. And then when you paste it in somewhere else, you got a clean piece of text that then you can format to match the rest of the document. See, but if you don't do this, your stuff's going to be all over the place. And then I use Grammarly, the free version, and then it catches stuff that should be hyphenated and misspelled and poor grammar and stuff like that. Okay, some graphic stuff that I use. iPicky, IPICCY, is a great, fairly easy to use graphics program that does everything that I need. I use it almost every day. I make all kinds of things with it. Next thing is PowerPoint, and it's not for what you might think. I never use PowerPoint when I speak. I always use my own stuff, which has made me a fortune, all right, and nobody will listen to me, but I'm the one that makes all the money at these events. So I use it to make tall Pinterest pins, like typographics and bookographics, things like that, which you can learn about in the webinar I told you about last night. You got to listen to that Pinterest webinar. I'm putting a lot of emphasis on that because in the first 3 weeks, I've gone up almost 60 times my views just by doing what was in the webinar. All right, so you should check that out. But anyway, back to PowerPoint, and I use it for making webinars, all right, that I'm going to do online. So that's PowerPoint. Now, Tailwind is a new thing I've been using. It'll make hundreds of Pinterest pins for you with the press of a button. And it'll schedule them also for you. And they're partners with Pinterest, so it warns you so you don't get in trouble by doing stuff that would be considered spammy. So that's Tailwind. The snipping tool. This is just one of the tools in the Microsoft, Office kind of stuff that I use all the time to grab graphics. And I grab my own graphics or I alter my own graphics. I'm not saying to grab other people's graphics. Now, if I want a more advanced screen capture, so snipping tool is a screen capture thing. I use Snagit. And sometimes I might have a graphic that's you have to scroll down the page to see the whole thing. Well, the snipping tool is no good for that. But Snagit will allow you to scroll down and capture everything that you want to capture at one shot. So that's Snagit. Now, I also use Canva. I have the pro version, but the free version is still spectacular. And it has templates for all kinds of graphics where you can just change the text and have something beautiful. I do it for ebook covers all the time. And my students do too. We have all these gorgeous ebook covers that look like they're professionally designed, but they were free on Canva. And that was just ebook covers, but they have different formats and different templates for all kinds of stuff for Facebook stuff and Instagram stuff, different sizing and Pinterest and all this stuff. So Canva for that. I also use clipart.com. This is a paid thing where I use it every day too. It's got millions and millions of things, pictures and clip art and cartoons that I don't have to worry about copyright infringement, because I'm just too big of a target to be sued, so I'm very careful with my graphics. And so I don't think I pay $160 a year or something. I think in the renewal was like $80 a year for these millions and millions of clip art and photographs and everything. Now, there's another one called Pexels, Pexels, that I forgot to put on I didn't put it in my notes here, but I just thought of it. It's because it's fairly new, but it's a free place to get super high quality pictures with copyright free, Pexels. Okay, then I use the Kindle Create software that's free from Amazon to format Kindle ebooks. See, you format them differently than you do a PDF ebook. So Kindle Create is the software for that, and we teach that whole thing in my Kindle Masterclass that we run every once in a while. Then another thing is Scanova, Scanova. This is just one of the places that we use to make QR codes. If you don't know what a QR code is, it's something you can hold your cell phone up to, and it's like a crazy looking maze of stuff. And then, but it's something that's readable by your cell phone. So that's a QR code. And, you can make them do all kinds of stuff, but that's one of the ones we use. All right, some website stuff. We, for the past, 3-4 years, have myself and all my students been using Thrive Themes and Content Builder. It's only like $19 a month, and you have all these themes to pick from and a professional grade content builder. I have affiliate links for a lot of this stuff, folks. If you don't mind, we'll have it in the show notes. But I got, people, all kinds of people that never dreamed they could do this stuff, making gorgeous websites, world class. And it's not the crappy content builders like some of the other places give you. This is professional grade content builder. And if you buy it through our affiliate link, we give you free training on how to do it. So that's that. All right, we use WordPress. WordPress is the gold standard for websites. Don't let anybody tell you any different. And here's the other tip for you. If you see any kind of website thing or online thing advertised on national stuff, you can be darn sure they're just trying to target people that don't know any better. And they're big sales organizations. They'll say and do anything to sell you enormous amounts of stuff you don't need. And I'm not talking about WordPress.com, where you can start a free blog, because there's limits to what you can do there. We're talking about the WordPress software installed on a regular hosting service, and then you have to put one of these Thrive themes or something on it to make it look nice. Okay, now I mentioned the Adobe Creative Cloud. We use Photoshop, we use Adobe Acrobat, Adobe Premiere. I don't know, they have all kinds of stuff there, but I think I pay, $20 a month for Adobe Audition. They have these different packages you can buy for monthly, depending on what you need. Okay, some live stuff. When you're doing live things, well, Zoom is the obvious one that everybody knows about now. We also use StreamYard on also for when I want to show graphics and do a live event like a Facebook Live. I use StreamYard. I used to use BeLive, but they just weren't ready for prime time. So StreamYard's much more stable and never crashed on me, and it was really good. Now, there's some other live stuff. Iriun, Iriun, Iriun is free software. I'm pretty sure it's free. It turns your cell phone into a webcam. So if you keep your cell phone, I think it uses Bluetooth, at least close enough to your computer, it turns it into a webcam and you can go, point it around to show different parts of your room or, whatever you want to do with it. So it'll do more than that. I haven't used it too much, but I thought it was pretty cool. Then we use a variety of things, TeamViewer, Join.me for taking, with our students, a lot of times we want to see what they're doing. And a lot of times I use Zoom for that. But if we want to actually take over the screen and click for them, then I think we use TeamViewer for that. We also still use Skype because some of the places that I do these big podcast interviews where they're interviewing me still use Skype. So I don't know why they do, but they do. So I have to have Skype too. That's for live stuff. Okay, security stuff and backups. We use a VPN. That's a virtual private network that's got, if you don't know about VPNs, it can make you look like you're in some other place. We use this a lot for my anti-scam stuff. And also good for advertising. If you want to advertise in some different country, you want to see what the ads look like, you can pretend that you're in that country by using a VPN. So that's like a security thing. We use RoboForm for password manager. I think for Mac, they have one called 1Password, but it'll do all kinds of stuff. It keeps all kinds, it's highly encrypted and just really, really important. I get so many people, they pay a lot of money to talk to me, and then 20 minutes later, I'm still sitting there because they can't find their password to get into what they want to show me. So that's not acceptable. You got to use something like this. Then we use Microsoft Security Essentials for the virus stuff. It's free, and they're going to try to keep it up because they don't want the bad reputation. We use Dropbox, iCloud, and Amazon S3 as our different backup places. Amazon S3 is also where we keep our big video files so that they don't bog down our websites. And then we use like the Easy Video Suite as the player. And so the videos play beautifully on inexpensive hosting because the big video file is over at Amazon and it's just connected to your site. And now the person watching the video doesn't know any different, but they would if you just try to put these giant video files on your hosting service. They would skip and not play and buffer and people would leave. So that's Amazon S3. But we also use Dropbox and iCloud for backup cloud stuff. Okay, some copywriting stuff. We have what I call my secret weapon. It's a headline generator and an analyzer, and we'll have the affiliate link to that. It's only about $30, but I call it my secret weapon because it'll generate like 800 headlines and analyze the ones they think is best for this product based on asking me questions about the product. Amazing thing for $30 or so. Next thing is some automation stuff. Of course, this stuff is all in the book that you should download for free. But anyway, here's a bunch of things that we actually use, but I'm starting to question whether I want to keep using them. We use a thing called Audience, another thing called Buffer, another thing called Meet Edgar, and once in a while Hootsuite. So these things are great to automate all your social media. But the problem is several years ago, I'm just so busy doing stuff. I let the social media person just take over and use some of these tools. But, now that she's gone and I start reviewing the stuff, yeah, I'm putting stuff up all the time. But the thing is over the past couple years, the engagement has become forefront for all of these social media platforms. They want people to engage with your stuff. And so when you just slop up stuff automatically over and over again, people don't engage with it. So you're kind of wasting your time. Sometimes it hurts you more than it helps you. So I'm not sure we're going to use any of those. All of them are good quality programs, but I wouldn't use all of them anymore. Probably Meet Edgar would be one if you wanted to start with one. but then you still can't just divorce yourself of it or you're just wasting your time. All right, more automation stuff. We use hybrid webinars, which is, again, my affiliate link to our webinar replay service, and that has made a fortune because I do a live webinar once on GoToWebinar. I need to put that on this list too, because I want to get the interaction and all the live stuff that goes with those and polling and everything. And then I replay it like crazy and money keeps coming in. This is the gold standard replay service is hybrid webinars. Then ManyChat is a chatbot service. And I read an article that said that I think by the end of this year, 80% of customer service will be done by chatbots. And you think, well, that's not very, personal, right? But the thing is you can make it fun. Like my little chat guy is called Screwy, based on Screw the Commute, and his little looks like a little screw guy, and it's a fun way to instantly take care of people and channel them which way you want them to go, based on what they want. And then if Screwy can't figure out what they want, then they forward it to me, then I can take over personally. See, so that's chatbot. We use ManyChat. Short keys is one that I've used. It's the one that has saved me, probably now close to 8 million keystrokes. And you're crazy. I'm just going to tell you right away, you're crazy if you don't use it. That's for PC. But on the Mac, let's see, it's called Keyboard Maestro. It's a little more complicated, but this will save you. I mean, you're just crazy. You're just crazy, stupid, ignorant. I'm sorry. You just are if you don't use this. It's just ridiculous not to use such a thing. It's for $20 or so. This thing has saved me 8 million keystrokes, made me probably several $1 million over the years I've been using it, because I get back to people so fast and I can answer them so fast, they just are blown away. So don't use it at your own risk, put it that way. And then, of course, the killer of all killers is Kickstart Cart, which is my shopping cart system, email, broadcast, affiliate program, autoresponders, all in one place. Been using that now almost 20 years, and have, I think, 1,600 people have used it because of me. I still use it today. Yep. As soon as we get off of here, I'll be using it. Okay, some email stuff. Outlook is the email program I use. I also use Gmail, and I also use, once in a while, I use Proton Mail for some really confidential stuff. Well, the Outlook stuff runs through what's called Microsoft Exchange. And I happen to use Rackspace for this, but there's other places that sell this thing. But what it does is it synchronizes my email everywhere, my cell phone, tablet, desktop, other, wherever else I put Outlook, it's all synchronized. So in the old days, I'd be afraid I'd go on the road and I'd get a bunch of emails, then I'd have to come and synchronize them with my desktop. And then I'd be afraid to answer an email on my laptop because it would unsynchronize it again. That's all gone now, Microsoft Exchange. And then another one we use, keep in mind, I had 150,000 subscribers before a lot of this stuff was invented. So I have email lists all over the place, and you might get duplicates from me sometimes because that was the way it is if you've been around with me for a long time. So one of the places, though, is very reputable and a good thing to have if you have extra money. You don't need this just for what it is. It's Aweber. Very reputable, very good company, but a lot of other services that if you get serious about your online marketing have an instant connection to Aweber to gather the leads for you. So that's one thing that I do keep my account there so that I can easily most of the things you do, you can, get a geek and program it to make it work, but I don't want that. I want easy, and I want my students to have it easy. So that's a backup email place for whenever I'm doing something that's going to collect leads and has an instant connection to them. I put it in there, Aweber. All right, so here's a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. We use Zello, which is an online walkie-talkie, so that instead of me trying to text somebody or one of my employees that's working remotely, I can just push a button and it's like a walkie-talkie. And then it shows if they're online, and then they can push a button and we can do a quick, if I have to ask them something real quick or discuss something, boom, 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 instantly. Zello. Of course, I use Excel, but I'm not very good at it. I just use it when I need it to collect a list of stuff. Now, there's another little things called pixel helpers. These are extensions that are called for Chrome. And when you get pixeled, that means it's almost like getting cookied. So that means an advertiser is wanting to know if you hit a certain web page or did a certain thing, so they can, what they call, retarget you. That's where when you see an ad following you around after you looked at something on Amazon or something, Pixel Helpers tells me right away if that page has pixels on it. And it tests, when I'm doing it, it tests to make sure they're working on the pages that I put them on. Okay, so those are called Pixel Helpers. Then it's good to have a speed test handy, because it's when the pandemic hit, everybody didn't get the internet speeds they were paying for, because the system was overloaded. So I just like to keep track. If it's getting really bad, I want to contact and bitch about it to the internet provider, because I'm not getting the speeds I'm paying for. Let's see. I use the Windows calculator all the time. Another one, Pretty Links. This is a plugin for WordPress, and this is called a cloaking program, and that sounds like real sinister, but all it is if you have a really long, crazy-looking link that nobody's ever going to remember, like say you were talking about on a podcast, you couldn't say something like screwthecommute.com/viral-marketing-now- whatever. Nobody's going to remember that. So you could make a pretty link where that's where they're going to end up on that long link. But all you have to say is like screwthecommute.com/viral. And then it automatically sends them to the place you want them to go. Now you say, well, what about Bitly? Well, Bitly is a link shortening thing. And yes, it works like that, but it has been spammed to death. So a lot of places won't even let Bitly links happen. And it looks better if it has your website in it. So screwthecommute.com/viral looks more credible and not scary as bit.ly/whatever 4265. That could be some virus link for all you know. So pretty links, good deal. Okay, Riddle is my quiz maker. It's one of the top quiz makers in the world. You can see an example of this at imtcva.org/quiz. So this is my school site where we have a thing called the 7 college ripoffs, and to see if you know about them. I would say go take it just for the heck of it and pass it on to anybody that's considering a 4-year college, because they are going to get ripped. I mean, unless it's a demand for the profession, it's just ridiculous, the things that they're doing to people, to families. That is, Riddle is the quiz maker. Okay, Roku, ROKU, that just happens to be another marketing source I use on television. So the public speaking channel is on Roku TV. Now, I'd be glad to help you do this, but I'd charge you $5,000 to $10,000 because it was very complicated. But I'm up there with all the other biggies for my topic. And, I was getting 3,000 views a week in my videos and never touched it for years, so that's Roku. Bidnapper, this is a cool one. This is a sniping service. And that's not shooting bullets, okay? So I buy a lot of stuff on eBay. I grew up very frugal. So a lot of you have heard that story with my dad and everything. So I buy a lot of stuff off eBay, but I don't want to sit there and, one thing, here's a rule of thumb for you. Never bid on anything at eBay, because all you're doing is driving up the price. The more bidders there are, people start to get an ego about it that they want to win. So I never bid on anything. I have this Bidnapper service. I think it costs me $6 a month, but it saved me so much money because I don't bid on anything. What it does is it bids at the last possible electronic second before the auction is over. And I win all the time, right? Because nobody knew I existed. Now, I don't win. I'll take that back. I don't win all the time. I usually win the ones I really want because I'll make a maximum bid that the Bidnapper will not bid over. And if people are bidding the thing up way above that and I'm not willing to pay it, the Bidnapper just doesn't bid. But if it's anywhere close, then, I bid just a penny or so. It'll bid just a penny or so over the last bidder, and then I win. All right. So, and they don't even know I existed until I popped in at the last second. So, Bidnapper. Okay, Expert Click. This is where I have press releases, and it's got another online blog that journalists look at, and people can, normal people can look at it too. And if you check it out, tell Mitch Davis that I sent you. That's the guy that runs the place for years and years, very highly reputable. And then, of course, I use Fiverr for a lot of one-time things. If I need some keyword research done, I don't feel like doing it myself. And I kind of want a different perspective from somebody else that's not too close to it like me. I'll go hire $5, $10, $15 on Fiverr and get somebody to do keyword research for me. And I'll say, oh man, I never thought of that. That's good. As soon as you think you know it all is when you don't, you find out you don't. All right. Now, before I got 8 more for you. Before I do that, I want to just remind you about the pilot program we have for the persons with disabilities and would love to have your help for it. We're going to use some of the money to hire persons with disabilities to help run the program. But we want to get these people trained because it's such a big production for them to try to go to a physical school. And so we're helping them through this, and then we're going to help them either get a job or start their own business or both. And it's just really something I'm proud of. I've been, raised a lot of money for animals and little kids and homeless and all this stuff, but really going to change these people's lives by giving them this skill. So give me a hand on this at imtcva.org/disabilities, Internet Marketing Training Center, Virginia, VA, imtcva.org/disabilities. And then at the top, you can click on the GoFundMe campaign and see their videos of how they're doing and all this stuff. So that's that. All right, let's get to the last 8. One is called Hashtagify. This generates a bunch of hashtags that you can use. You can use them on eBay. You can use them on YouTube now. You can use them on Instagram, Facebook, all these places you can use hashtags. It gives you a big list of hashtags. It's kind of like keywords, but it's different. High Rise HQ. This is a database program. I used to use ACT for years and years and years, and then they changed it and got rid of it. And then, I started using the shopping cart and not really calling people anymore. But High Rise HQ is I keep databases of certain groups that I'm marketing to. For instance, homeschoolers. So I have a whole section. I can pull up all the people that are involved with homeschooling in one shot, send them an email, so forth. So High Rise HQ is one we use. Linktree. It's LINKTR-E or .ee, I think is the domain. But what it is it's a program. The reason I got it is because of Instagram. See, Instagram out of your profile gives you one link. Well, there's so many things that I do that kind of limits you. So Linktree allows you to put one link in there, and then it has a page builder that sends them to a page that has all kinds of stuff that you can put in for links, and you can move them around and so forth. So it's you can use the link anywhere. I just primarily used it for Instagram. Okay, if I do have to have something printed once in a while, very seldom anymore, but I use Jack Prints, JAKPRINTS, Jack Prints. I advertise lots of places, but this one is kind of specific, and I don't advertise here too often. but I want to tell you about it. It's called Outbrain, and used to have a competitor called Taboola, but they kind of combined each other. So Outbrain is a place where you can advertise, and you do need to have some very generic kind of product, because this Outbrain is going to put this ad on some major sites like AOL and Yahoo and CNN and just these super big sites. And you see them all the time. If you look closely, you'll see Powered by Outbrain or something next to it. I just want you to know about that. If you have something you want to be in these major publications, and it's pay-per-click kind of thing. All right, another thing is Sonics. This is our transcription service. I have a whole video about this and an affiliate link on YouTube. It's crazy because I used to pay in the US $60 per recorded hour for transcription. And if it was outside the US, I was paying $30 per recorded hour. Now I pay $5 per recorded hour. It's machine generated, but it's anywhere from 93 to 96% accurate. And I had to do the same with all the other transcripts, is go over them. So Larry, the guy that helps me with the back end of the podcast, goes over them and makes any little changes. And then that's our transcript. So it's $5 per recorded hour once you join the thing. And if you join through my affiliate link, I think you get, I don't know, 100 minutes or 30 minutes free or something, I forget. Okay, Wufoo, WUFOO. This is a form builder that you can do a lot of cool stuff with. But for instance, we have this thing where if you're really serious, you can get a 30-minute strategy session with me personally, but you have to carefully fill out this application. It's got a lot of questions on it because I want serious people. I don't want tire kickers, because I want you to join my mentor program. So you can go to screwthecommute.com/application and see what I'm talking about. And if you're serious and you want to potentially have my help, if it makes sense for both of us, I always say that. If you have no chance on earth of joining my mentor program, then it's hard for me to take the time because I'm taking care of my mentees, so, but if you are serious and you just want to see what it's all about and see if I can help you, then you'd want to do this. So that's, but Wufoo is the power behind that. We used to have SurveyMonkey. I think they may have combined with Wufoo. I can't remember, but you can do surveys and stuff like that. So that's screwthecommute.com/application. And then the last one here, and guess what? I'm sure I missed some, folks, because there's just, like I said, there's probably over 1,000 things I've either used or tried, or maybe I didn't need something for a year and forgot about it, but it's still something I would use if I needed it. So I can't give you all of them, and like I said, don't get depressed because all this stuff and say, oh my God, I can't do this. Yes, you can. I didn't start with all this stuff. I did them one at a time and just kept moving, and look what happened after all these years. So anyway, the last one we'll tell you about is called WeTransfer. It's a free service where you can transfer big files to people, too big that you couldn't email them. So if I have a video that's 150 megabytes and I want to send it to my video guy to edit, that you can't, how would you do it? We used to, in the early days, have to put it on a thumb drive and have them pick it up or take it to them, or, it's just ridiculous. So up to 2 gigabytes, you can get a free thing. It's been very reliable. And it's called WeTransfer.com. And that way they get an email that they have a big file waiting for them. And then they click the email and go and download the file instead of it being attached to the email. So that's WeTransfer. We use it all the time. All right, so there's a bunch of stuff, folks, that you can use. Please pass this on to anybody you think might need it. Or if you have any questions, Tom at screwthecommute.com is great. And also, if you want to join our affiliate program, that's how you get details, is to email me and we'll discuss it with you. But please give me a hand on the pilot program in my school, and something you can really be proud of. I know I am, and we're going to change people's lives for the better. All right, I hope this little episode changes your life for the better, gives you an idea of some of the things you can use to help market yourself. And I will catch you on the next episode. See you later.